everyone.
Hey, Eric.
I'm Eric. I am a nursing student at PSC. And just to piggyback on what you said, trying to branch out and talk to other people that don't necessarily agree or think like you. Both of my classmates are here, and we were talking about the Harlem Renaissance and all that, and there's just this one guy in our class that we try to include him in and try to get his opinions on stuff, and he's just so closed-minded and just so set in his ways. And my mother has always told me that ignorance is taught. And when we try to expand our views to the ignorant, it just doesn't go anywhere. So my question is, how do we open, well, I have another question, but my first question is, how do we try to expand our views without it coming off as harsh or rude or just very blunt? So.
What's your other question though?
Yeah.
Oh, and my other question is, he also is like, well, you guys have black on black crime, y'all sag your pants and you drug dealers and all that, and he just has that negative viewpoint of the African American community. So how do we just, snap back at them?
Haley would like to respond to that, but we are also getting close to 8 o'clock. So I just want to suggest that I didn't see anybody's hand like waving wildly. So what I'd like to do is let Haley respond to that question, and then maybe give some more time to Nyande. Because she's been quiet over there, and I'm sure she's got lots of ideas about what's going on. And then we can just say a couple of parting or ending words. And for those of you who need to leave, you can go. We'll honor our time commitment of stopping at 8 o'clock. But for those of you who would like to stick around and interact with each other or any of us, some of us at least will stick around for a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Question 1. How do you help expand his views without... You don't. You choose who you're going to use your energy on. I'm just going to be honest. I have learned this. I'm going to use a perfect example that just happened to me. Those of you who are my friend on Facebook may have just seen my most recent post of my inbox, which I do get racist trolls pretty often, but they had quieted down for a little bit, and all of a sudden, I randomly get a young gentleman that tells me, white people have all the power, and white man is king. And I thought it was hilarious, because, why did you have to tell me that? Obviously, white people are in power. What do you think I'm doing? I'm trying to make it equal here. Bella, what's up? So, I go on, I post, and I say, this is why, I know who I dedicate my time to. I move in silence in the things that I do, and I know who to give my energy to. He goes on this whole rant on the post and talks about how black women are beautiful, but we're just as slaves. He's the king. White men, that black people are grasping for straws right now, and that's why we start riots and we're doing all this protesting, because we know we have no power. And for a moment it made me feel helpless, and I was like, he might kind of be a little bit right. I do feel powerless. I do feel helpless. Am I just grasping for straws? But he's wrong. And this is why I say you can't give your energy to everybody, because there are so many other organizations and things, and this leads into the black on black crime sentiment. There's so many organizations and everything that are actively out in our community trying to educate marginalized communities, trying to make things better in marginalized communities. For the black community, queer community, I specifically love to work with those that are queer and black, because I am queer and black. So when we go forward And we do these things and we say, well, what about the crime that black people commit against black people? Well, you can't protest criminals. What power do they hold over you? All they can do, but you know what you can do? And this is the problem that we have when we talk about the system. Everybody wants to microwave making the system right. We can't really be a microwave generation. We have to sit back. We have to let people do their own lanes. I stay in a lot of lanes, but I'm gonna work my lanes. And we have to support those who get in their lanes. If they're sticking with economy, if they're doing history, if they're doing social justice work in general and advocating for people, we have to support those that are in their lane, because that's how you bring down crime rates. That's how you bring up opportunity, so that you don't have to hear about black on black crime. But you don't dedicate those to those people who only worry about black on black crime when you're saying, I have a problem with the system killing off my people. Because those people do not see you as human. It's dehumanizing. And that's why we say the whole damn system is guilty, because it dehumanizes us. And when we get dehumanized, it's not something we fight with. We shed the light, and then we do the work on the outside, and we dedicate our energy to where we have to dedicate it to. And shout out, I'm sorry, now that I have it for just 2 minutes, my shirt says black. It stands for Black Leaders Advocating for Change Through Knowledge. The founder, Tosca, is here. I am kind of like her code because I'm always doing stuff. But if y'all remember the Blackout Pensacola Walk that we recently had, that everybody was up in arms about, thinking it was a Black Panther rally and we was gonna shoot people. Yeah, we did that. But Black is going out into the community. They're advocating with knowledge by teaching people the history. Because just like how today we came to you and we're telling you this is the history and this is why we're at where we're at today, that's exactly what it takes to make sure that our community is able to feel like humans. Thank you.
Remember what we were gonna say? Remember what I said 5 minutes ago? I mean, that is awesome that all of you people just held up your hands. I mean, I saw like 8 people hold up their hands.
I'll take questions.
Are you sure? Because, well, we will keep going, all right? Because people want to, right? Are we okay, Julie, Patton?
15 minutes.
15 minutes is all we can do.
So let's
So,
do this. We'll move around the room. We'll go here to that one, and then so we got 4.
Yeah, actually, that Haley right there, why don't you pick the people, okay?
Oh, no pressure.
So
There were too many.
I guess the most important question I have, and I did have a follow-up, but I don't want to take everybody's time, would be, as a person who's coming here tonight, what would the panel recommend besides coming to events like this or finding mentors who are different than you to discuss those things? What would you say you can do to ease racial tension in your community or with people that you know? What do you recommend to do?
The next program, I'm just going to jump
Talk to
in. The next program is focused on some of the things that you can do and what's already going on. So let's have ideas tonight, but then we have a program on the 17th of November. Thank you.
Okay, is there another, yeah, go ahead, Keontae.
30 seconds, I'll simply say that because this is a movement, what we invite people to do is actually participate in the movement. And so if you hear of an event, attend. If you see something at work or in your community, one of the things that I found, and one of the questions that were on there, and I'll try to be brief, is Black Lives Matters anti-religious? You heard Reverend Julie to say earlier that our movement hasn't been welcomed in many Black churches here. That is real. Not only has our movement not been welcomed in Black churches in this community, but our movement has actually been welcomed more in white churches, but for those white ministers and congregations who don't want us there, it is because they told us that the Black Lives Matter movement is anti-religious, is that Martin Luther King and Jesus and Gandhi all said that you have to proselytize the community, but you don't have to come out and join the movement. And so we've got, so I say all that to say that there are events that happen, but more importantly, start to call into question, and that is what this movement is about. It is a social justice movement. And so whether it's advocating for HRO at City Hall on behalf of the LGBT community, whether it's making sure that that Regions Bank and others are actually giving loans so that people in the Belmont and Villas can keep their homes and not be pushed out. There are movements, and we encourage you to get involved and participate.
And I just wanted to say one thing before we, for you, well, for all of y'all, to feel like you're doing something you can personally do, when you see something, speak up. If you see someone going on a racist rant about how Black Lives Matter is this, and that, understand that your Black friends don't always have the energy to be able to combat that, because it's our day-to-day lives. Step up and speak out. That's one of the biggest things.
And you can do it by just saying, I don't see it that way.
Yeah.
You don't have to like go down a whole long list. All you do is say, I hear what you're saying, but I don't see it that way. That's all you have to do.